Open side quickie. Ball just goes to ground. Just hanging around in the ruck a little bit too much, and France get let off, but they need to inject some pace because at the moment America are just all over him.
An athletic dumping of the ball there from France.
Yeah, big Dan in the middle, spots the off the mark. And USA really forcing errors from France early doors. They've come out firing from the get-go, and France are struggling to cope with them at the moment.
He did everything he could to not be off the mark. Threw himself to get the ball down, but not quite able to. The US could be an opening here. They get through. Can they find a spare player? Searching desperately for one, but the touch comes in. Possibly the early pass out wide might have been the option once he'd burst through, but just couldn't quite find someone.
Yeah, France are struggling to get into gear at the moment. The USA are putting on an insane amount of pressure, just shutting down their transition at any opportunity. But now France starting to roll through and will have their first crack at the line. And that 6 touches turnover. France unhappy with some of the physical nature of some of the touches from the USA. Yeah, Dan's got eagle eyes. He spots the forward pass from the base of the ruck. No one knows yet. Whistle's now been blown.
Good call, Dan. Well done. A forward pass given.
He's going to be your best mate in this game because he's hot on those things.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I've got to shout him out. Actually, he is probably my favourite ref. For England,
he's mine too now.
Just gives nothing, takes nothing. Very stern.
Can spot a forward pass. Makes a big difference.
He can spot most things. Dan, he's a good ref.
France then, can they take advantage of this extra 6 from that forward pass? They can indeed, and they've evened it up. And well, fair enough to France as Thomas Bonheur scores the try. Been under the cosh for the whole of the opening 5 minutes, but they go in 5 minutes into the game and they're one apiece.
Yeah, definitely, and it's the first real pressure that they've sustained on the line, and they're able to make it count. Just a really nice open side quickie. It's just a race to the line, and the dive is good enough to beat the retreating defender. And USA looking a little bit fragmented on the line, flying up probably when they don't need to. Maybe better to stay connected with your defenders and hold space, but you know, they look so potent in attack that I've got a feeling that their game plan isn't to shut France out, it's just to score more than them.
US flood through now, wide pass goes, they'll need to give another. Can't quite, so they just take the touch.
Yeah, it looks like they'll look for that long ball. I wonder if we'll see the wing tap back to the track and link. Scoop coming, looks to go wide, ball just goes to ground. Maybe the ball to the wing was on rather than the link, but USA every time they get into the red zone looking very dangerous.
Certainly are. France, how much confidence has that try given them? Looks like plenty as they start flooding through on this attack. We haven't seen the move like this so far, but just as we start to say it, the error comes in.
Refs have spotted something. I think they're saying it was a USA foot in the roll ball, so France will get a fresh set of 6. You want to take 1 touch, get to the line, and then you'll have 4 to work with. I'm unsure if that's a 4 sub or if he's been sent for time. I believe it's a 4 sub. France could have just gone to the wing. They look to do so now. Ball goes, but USA track across and get it, and the forward pass just alleviates all that pressure, and the ball should have gone initially.
Well, I'm trying to work out what's happened there that's caused the 4 sub, but
most likely chat. I know Dan is a big one. Any chat gets you a warning, and then if you continue to chat, he's got no problem with sending you for a 4 sub.
Well, interestingly, as we watch the game unfold in front of us, I'm just looking down below me, and the player's taking his boots off, and there's a lot of chat about the boots. I wonder if he's got an illegal stud on.
Yeah, actually, I think you might be right. He's just thrown the pair of boots away. He's looking for a spare pair. Not sure if he has any. Yeah, they look like metal studs, and if you know anything about touch, you know metal studs are a big no-no in the safety for other players, and it's unfortunate because at the moment USA will be down without a winger and looking pretty perplexed as to how to solve that problem. And France drawing the penalty on the line. And France will look to capitalise on what is a little bit of a confusing period for USA.
France getting across the line. Well, he's on the hunt for a pair of boots.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do about this. Nor if there's a solution. He's going to need to find a sports shop somewhere in the Nottingham area soon.
Yeah, it's a shame it wasn't picked up on the first day. But like I say, Dan's got eagle eyes. He spots these things. Oh, nice little wraparound play, but it doesn't quite come to fruition. And France just running some frantic touch, just trying to maybe force things that aren't quite on, and USA are able to withstand the pressure and roll into their transition. So a really good dump there in the middle, engaging two players. But Dan noticing that loss of control, and they might get an extra 10 yards.
Well, they found a spare pair of boots by the look of it. Whether or not they'll fit is a different question.
Feet.
As France maintain their attacking momentum, and actually ever since that forced sub, France have really taken the initiative, because they were struggling for the first 5 minutes or so, but the last 5 minutes has been all France.
Yeah, and France have been done for chat back there, complaining about maybe a foot in the ruck, but you know, for my money and the rest money, there was no foot in the ruck there, just a loss of control. Referees reminding people, yes, this is men's game. We do play more physical touch. You've got to be dominant in that roll ball and secure it.
Now, the good news is for the US, as they sigh through and look for the try, doesn't quite come off for them. But the good news for the USA is that Tate Gomez, the number 2, has got a pair of boots on now. He's still looking a little unhappy about things. I don't think they probably quite fit, but they'll do better than nothing. Looks to be the answer, but he's cutting a frustrated figure.
I think it really stunted the flow of the USA, having that forced sub, having the drama in the box to get a pair of boots, and just seeing him point to the studs, to the coach. It's things like that, the off-field stuff, that really has an impact on field. And first half of the 10 minutes that have gone, USA were all over France, applying loads of pressure. France weren't able to get out the sub box, and then as soon as the forced sub has come, France have turned the tide and started to apply their own pressure on the USA, and USA just need to get to this red zone now. At the moment, they're just burning too many touches in the midfield. It's easy for France to defend.
And France as well, having been a little unhappy with the physicality earlier on, are starting to bring a bit of it to the party themselves. Some of these touches firming up a bit. We've got a bit of a feisty and tasty game on our hands here.
Oh, good option, good option. Oh, it's just a shame. Link hadn't hit his hole. It was always creeping. It was just static on the line. Link needs to be a bit deeper, hit that hole at pace. And they will get a repeat set. Penalty for offside. USA are patient on the ball. Slow quickie, so they'll just recycle that, no worries. Ball needs to be up quicker, much better. Shoot at the line. Ball down, the refs are happy. It's a lovely dive in between the covering middles, and they extend the lead.
Leone Kangete with the try. He was the creator for the USA's opener, and he's the try scorer for their second, and they're back in the lead. And Tate Gomez back on the field on the far side wearing number 2, and he's just had a little chat with Dan, the referee, on his way across. Obviously managed to keep himself under check, because he's been furious on this near side touchline, but obviously just demonstrating that he's got the correct equipment on.
Yeah, and do you know what? It's one of those nuances of touch. Is a lot of people do try and wear cleats, especially when the ground is, you know, maybe just crumbling underfoot and you want to get that extra bit of purchase. But if that foot then slips on someone else, that's big damage. And Dan is well within his rights to reinforce that point. But USA, since he's come back on the pitch, are looking a lot more dangerous. Try line's begging. Touch has been made.
And it's a tricky one, actually. You know, any player, and I'm sure lots and lots of players do, that have come from contact from rugby union or from rugby league, where you're actually told you must wear metal studs for safety because they are the safer stud than a plastic stud, because a plastic stud can sharpen so easily. And then you come across to touch and you're told you can't wear the metal, you've got to wear plastic because plastic is safer than metal, and you're going, well, hang on, which one's safe? I think probably the answer is they're all safe, if we're honest. Boots are designed pretty well nowadays.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, technology's come a long way. Oh, unlucky. It was very nicely worked. Little ball out to the wing tap back, but America are able to just hold that off. And I've been very impressed with the defense on show for both teams, able to shut down the opposition's attack very effectively. Maybe just a couple tired legs as we approach the final quarter of the first half. And the passes that were sticking just aren't quite finding the space. Brilliant defensive play there, getting out the line, shutting down half. And France were able to strike in their transition, but just having to come back. And that's an incorrect roll ball. Prime opportunity now for the USA. You know, one touch, get into the red zone, make it count. And they sub whilst the ball is being rolled, so they've got fresh legs on without worrying about having to drag the ball over to the sub box. And we'll see if they can make this work. Checks back on the inside, picks up, not on, goes for the quickie, looks for the ball, gives the ball, brilliant touch.
Really tight game this. Both sides showing their skills. Look at that pass, beautiful stuff. Defense just able to swing across though and stop Trask from going any further.
Oh, good touch, really good touch. Nothing wrong with that. You've got to get the ball down. USA have made, that's 3, and the France aren't even at the sub box. Ball goes, slips. 4th touch. They have 1 touch and they're going to have to scoot from about halfway. Touch is made. Oh, I think there's more inconspicuous ones that haven't been given. But France get let off with a really poor transition. And now they're able to strike from halfway. You can't grab the shirt. And USA just alleviating all of the pressure that they'd put on France. And he's been forced sub for chat. And the France will react quickly. The USA player doesn't really know where he's going. Ball goes. Touch is made, and the USA scramble once again. At the moment, masterminds of their own downfall.
They are, but I do wonder if there's sort of irritation with a couple of the decisions might just rile them up and fire them up and kick them into a real performance as this game goes on.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, it is very easy to get dragged into that frustrated style of touch where you feel like a couple of calls haven't gone your way, you feel a little bit aggrieved, but you can't let that affect the way that you play. And at the moment, you know, USA are above, and they just can't let themselves... well, they can't allow France back in, because at the moment, the only way that France can get back into this game is through the penalties that USA are giving away for needless things, like the occasional hard touch shouldn't get played, the offsides unnecessary because you're in your transition, you should be able to hit your line, and they're just giving these really ideal opportunities to France. And now France will have a repeat set of 6 on the line. Again, that's another one just completely unnecessary whilst on the line. It's a second.
I kind of like it. I kind of like it.
Oh, so do I, and I will say that. I'll say that with bated breath, because this is the style of touch that I like to play, the physical style of touch that gets in underneath. But France have been able to make the penalties count, and maybe USA will learn from a couple of their unnecessary penalties that they've given away, because when they're playing within the guidelines of the law, they are massively on top in this game. But it's only when they give France good field position is when France can take advantage.
It's a tidy finish over there in the corner from Mathis van Dale. And we're back to level pegging, 2 scores apiece. We've got about 2.5 minutes left to go in the second half. Both sides getting a little frustrated, actually. A lot of chat on the field, but this is elite sport. Passions run high, and we love to see it.
Oh, feet. Good spot there from Dan. I was wondering, a few of them have been right on the line, but foot just not traveling over the ball as they dump, so you gain an unfair advantage, able to get out of that dump a lot quicker than someone who would pass their foot over. There was a couple that were right on the line, and Dan spotted that one that was a little bit more obvious.
Forward pass there.
It's almost like a swear jar for you. You get a forward pass counter.
Well, people could just blow their whistle when there's a forward pass. That would deal with the problem.
Good strike dump there. France trying to scoop through, but the USA get back on side and make the touch. And you know, for all the good work that both teams have done, struggling to find the direction in attack. Just being told to take the roll ball again as things slow down.
US might find a bit of space on the right. They just couldn't quite get outside that second to last defender. Otherwise, the opportunity was on.
Yeah, just not back in the hands in that situation. Rather than trying to run round your opposite number, maybe just give the pass and allow a faster player to take the space. Just as France have done here, making loads of yards, but I think that's just a loss of control. Yeah, it just releases the ball before the dump goes. It bounces off the pitch, and USA really winning the roll ball at the moment.
France absolutely flooding through. It's quick, slick play from them, but it's quick and slick defense from the US as well, who just need one more touch to see out the half. But France playing nicely here.
It's on.
Dancing this way and that.
It's on. Give it one more.
Touch comes in. Surely the touch has been made. Surely. And the referee agrees the touch has been made, and will go into the halftime break deadlocked at 2 scores apiece. A low scoring game, a physical game, but a game of top level touch rugby here.
Yeah, both teams showing a lot of physicality. You know, the French side definitely a lot more unhappy with it than the USA. I think this is exactly the type of game that the USA wanted to play. Just can't help but feel like if the USA can stop giving away the needless penalties through, you know, the needless hard touches and talking back to the ref, then they'll be able to really kick up a gear going into the second half.
They certainly will be. Half-time here at Nottingham University as the United States of America 2, France 2. just under a minute then until half time. We are 2 scores apiece as we get ready for the second half, and the referee just trots across to have a word with the USA coach. Joe Wright's been leaning over to see if he can pick up on that conversation. What was being said down there?
Yeah, so he just said, he was like, "Coach, can you come over?" He was just imparting the statement of both teams aren't passing the foot over the ball, and anything that's ambiguous gets pinged immediately now. He said it's the same for both sides. So yeah, we saw one get called. Probably some more could have been given, to be honest. And it's something that the referees have highlighted, and now both teams have no excuse to not pass the foot over the ball. You know, especially on your quickie sets when you're trying to get in and out really quick, you've got to pass that foot over the ball, otherwise you could just dump it and run off.
Well, you said he's eagle-eyed.
Oh,
he's been eagle-eyed. France go close.
Yeah, good play, good quickie play, just feeding off. Long ball goes, looks to beat him around the outside. Big touch in the middle. That's that difference in physical development you've seen. That's a big winger. Big shove on. Really good dump in the midfield to generate some momentum, and now the USA are really cannoning into their transition. Fresh legs on, really smooth. Best transition of the game so far. This is 5th, they're gonna have to scoop. Defense is set, they look long. Oh, I don't think the ball was meant for the link. Wing was on.
Didn't get the call from the outside that he had space. France survive.
Yeah, and you know, it goes back to that, you know, the wing play that they're trying to make. If that ball goes to the wing, the tap back to the link is on, has been on all game, and might be something that the USA have spotted. See if they can expose the French defence. Lazy defenders not tracking on the inside.
Another big physical touch coming in.
I love it though.
Oh, I'm enjoying it.
I love it.
I'm enjoying it so much.
It's why I absolutely adore playing men's, because men's touch is super physical, and that's what you want. You want to have to win that roll ball, really have to work hard for it, and then when you do, you feel so much better for the hard work that you've put in.
Well, and if you think about it, you want a game where people are having to work hard, because that's how space starts getting created, is when people are working hard. There's a brilliant diving touch comes in there from the French number 8, Timothée Berton.
Yeah, I think he's going to get done for offside though. USA thought he was going to play advantage, could have got the ball down, but Dan pulls it back.
I think France, the US rather, in an attempt to get the try awarded to them, claimed they scored it and launched the ball back all the way to halfway, and it was a long trot back there for Taylor French to go and collect the ball and bring it back. And there he is on the ball again. Probably didn't want that straight away, having just done 100 meters to go and get it. US having a little chat behind the ball. Here they go, they just about made it work. Didn't quite go to plan.
It's something I've noticed in the French defence is some of the links are really lazy to get back on side, so if they just dump that ball and pick it up early, they'll be able to catch them offside. Sometimes, you know, when the play doesn't come to fruition, they get touched. USA just take a second, and if they react quicker, they'll be able to find the space in behind the lazy defenders.
They go through their 6, and France will have possession again. 2-2. It is tight, and it is tetchy out there.
Great yards. French have really warmed into this game, now starting to play expansive. They've got the scoop on the 23 channel. Ball goes back to short side. Lovely feet. Can he feed off? Can't quite. Touch gets made. Much better from France in their transition. They then move it open side. And unfortunately on that occasion, it doesn't quite come with a score, but you've got to think if they keep moving this USA defence as they were then, the gaps will appear. And in these 40-minute games, you can afford to, you know, condition some defences to, you know, move a certain way.
The US working forward. Looks as though the bucket hat
feet.
trend has spread all the way across the Atlantic and onto the head of Jaden Murray.
Yeah, he's got real feet. He seems to be one of the players that's going to make something happen when he gets on the ball. At the moment, just picking maybe the wrong passing option. Went on their 5th touch and scooping. But this French transition has developed so much throughout this game. They've really adjusted what was going wrong.
Forward pass comes in, but again, unseen.
Long. Ball to the winger might have been on, but they go to the link instead. It seems like both teams are reluctant to throw the wide pass. It seems like that's where all the space is at the moment. If they can just back it, throw it long early doors, rather than tracking across the pitch so much. It just allows the defence to crab across and cut out any space that was available on the wing.
Well, there was that big rainfall at the start of the previous game. I just wonder if the players still have it in the head. Perhaps it's still wetter underfoot and on the ball than it looks from up here, and I wonder if just some of the players are reluctant to throw that wide ball because of that. As the referee again is having a look at one of the players' boots.
4 sub for boots again.
And another 4 sub because of studs. Well, the US are going to be running out of boots faster than they run out of players, as they do really well
that is superb.
to come in and make the touch.
That winger who subbed on for the player who got 4 subbed had to hit the line, then get off it to make that touch. And he saved a guaranteed score.
Absolutely outstanding from Tavian Trask to make that touch. But the US have got a problem here with their boots. It's Deacon Benham who's having to make the latest change, and well, I'm not sure if they're going to have enough spares for that to be able to happen. There's certainly none forthcoming as we speak. I'll keep an eye on that one.
Oh, well, they've got the boots from earlier. They definitely have at least one spare pair of boots that they can use. But that's not overly helpful as he tries to go around the outside, but just loses footing and slips into touch.
7 metre roll.
And you've got to think, like, the USA, this is more of a, I dare to say, an admin error than a player error with the boots, because it's not something you see that often.
Well, I do wonder if it might be a sort of quirk of the law book in differing nations. I wonder if in the US, as I say, because metal studs are fundamentally safe, they're just not in the rules of touch. I wonder if it's just a quirk of the US national laws of the game that you are allowed to wear them, and they've not realised that in an international setting you can't.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, these are fit rules, remember, so we've got it's done by the letter of the law, and we've got a couple of the senior referees now approaching the pitch, just maybe to make sure that everything's going the way they should, probably talking about some of the boots, but can't help but think that after this game, the USA will be going straight over to that ref's tent and saying, right, what's okay, what's not okay, because we need to get this fixed, because we can't go the rest of our tournament having players getting 4 subbed on the fly for incorrect footwear.
And probably, have you got directions for the nearest sports shop?
Yeah, where's Sports Direct?
Has anyone got a direct line to Mike Ashley?
Can you get Sports Direct on Deliveroo? That's the question. Can you get some boots delivered to Highfield? If anyone's in Nottingham, actually, watching the stream, and you've got some boots you can donate, then yeah, come down. I'm sure these American lads would be more than grateful.
US go close again through Dominic Zavala, who does seem to be the one orchestrating the plays when he's on the field. It's good hands there to hold on to that. It's a good pass.
Oh, I think it's forward.
Oh, it was a beautiful piece of play, and actually a stunning finish from Tavian Trask, but the ball had just drifted forward.
Such a shame as well. I think that's the story of the USA team at the moment, and the French team as well, to be fair. It's just too easy to defend, and then when the moments of magic come, it's just the 1%ers that are letting them down, whether it's not putting your foot over the ball or the forward pass. And you know, when you've got 3 extremely experienced referees, they're going to pick these things up. You just can't afford to have this lapse of judgment.
Here's an opening though for the US.
Well done. Now forward, Blue.
Or USA get away with 7 on there.
Denny, 7 on. 7
Oh
on.
no, Dan spotted it, Dan spotted it. Good lad, good lad. And if you're not aware, 7 on is a penalty from where the players are meant to come on and off the pitch. So the USA will essentially get a tap off now in the middle for 7 on. France will get a tap off, sorry. And again, it's just these little errors that are just stopping any USA development in the final third, just surrendering possession to France all too easily.
Well, you told us he was a stickler. He certainly is as France go close. Andres Chauffeau diving for the line, but just touched. And this second half, almost halfway through, yet to have a score. But now we do, and it's that man, Andres Chauffeau. He went close a few moments ago. Now he's across the line, and it's the opening score of the second half. It's taken 10 minutes to arrive, and it's arrived for France, who've come from behind to now take the lead.
Yeah, Chauffeau's been the one to just make things happen for the French attack. He's looked so direct. He's quite obviously got to step off both feet, which is so dangerous. And rather than use the hands like we've seen him do throughout this game, he goes, all right, hands aren't working. I'm just going to put the hammer down and beat you to the line. That's exactly what he did. And now USA have got to reply. They look for the passive player, just doesn't quite come. Beautiful link shot there.
US, big wide pass. Touch comes in. Covered the ground well there, did Louis Bentz.
I think they just lost the touch count. But they've got the penalty for offside, just releasing from the line too early. Encroaching the space too early and illegally. The USA have a perfect opportunity. This will be the set to make it count. Look for the quickie play. Brilliant defensive touch.
Kangethe diving, but touched in the process. But he is another one of those US players that's got magic in his hands and almost creates something there. Inches away from leveling the scores.
Yeah, that trail line on the quickie's been on for a while now, and I was about to compliment the USA setup and saying that when they do run the quickies, the two middles are very close together, but then the links are set quite far away in space, ready for the fire up if it does come. Unfortunately, doesn't quite go to hands there, but it's really promising signs. And you know, just under 8 minutes left to go, and USA have got to feel like if you get some more repeat sets on the line, you will get over it again. Brilliant defensive touch.
Seth Catchpole with the touch, and it was Seth Catchpole that came so close to scoring a few moments ago. I'm just watching on the far side, Tate Gomez, who had that boot issue, and he's like a caged tiger on the far side. He's just been prowling up and down that touchline.
Can't quite get through the gap, but it's a really good feat initially to create the space. Just looking for the support. And if I was to make a critique of some of the USA attack, especially when they get into their final third on 5th touch looking to scoop, is there's not many options for the scooping player to look for other than the roll ball. And it just creates complete separation between the ball and the supporting player, and it's then very easy to France to come up in that umbrella-shaped defence and snuff out any opportunity.
France in a bit of a good patch at the moment, a purple patch in the game, and diving again for the line is Chauffeau, and he's got there again, and he is like a slippery eel in those situations. You just cannot lay a finger on him.
Yeah, just gets so low underneath the toucher. Really good in and out. Foot travels over the ball, steps back on the inside. Touch does get made, but the ball is down beforehand. Then France double the lead.
2 in quick succession for France and for Chauffeau. And this, the biggest margin any side has had in this game. It's been so tight all throughout. And you consider the amount of tries we've seen in the other games. This one, it's been closer to a boxing match. Just both teams jabbing at each other, landing soft punches every now and then, but you just sense waiting for the killer move as that pass drifts forward.
Yeah, they keep looking towards the right-hand side of the pitch, the USA, looking for the long ball, but you know, your left winger, he's stood in acres of space. It's just not quite receiving that pass.
And it's that man, Tate Gomez,
Yeah.
who, as I was saying, is like a caged tiger over there. I really think almost get the ball in his hands early, because I think you might see something special from him, not least because he's riled up. He's not happy out there, and I think he quite fancies a little bit of time in possession and a bit of a run just to show what he can do.
Yeah, definitely, and I think, you know, he is a good option as well. He's stood out in a lot of space. The winger for France has to come in short, as France look to go and make it pay down the right-hand side. Touch comes in. Dan has spotted an infringement. Touch and pass. USA will get the tap penalty, able to begin their transition from deep.
US up to halfway, flowing nicely at the moment, flowing very nicely at the moment. If they can pass around this touch, they'd be going very well, but they get a set of 6 again anyway, so they're going to be very, very happy with that, and a big opportunity here as we enter the last 5 minutes to narrow the gap to 1.
Yeah, you can just see on your screen there the space on the left-hand side of the field. Are they going to look for it? They look to go through the middle. They get the second penalty. One more and a player will get sent for time for the rest of the USA possession.
And the way this game's gone, you wouldn't bet against that, would you?
Not at all, not at all. But again, you can see the 2-on-1 on the left-hand side. Do they look for it? Not yet. They don't need to. Ball is down, refs are happy. They come back to the short side and they work it really well and close the gap back down to 1.
Well, why look left when you can just go short right to Samuel Farbert? And all he had to do really was just catch and fall. And that's exactly what he did. And we are back down to a 1-point game, 4.5 minutes left to go. And we're in for a pretty grandstand finish here in this men's 20s game. As the magician.
I think he said that he dumped the ball outside the 7, so the USA defender was onside.
Chauffeur, though, weaving his magic spell, and he does it again. Oh, it's a hat-trick, and he is just toying with the opposition.
His feet are too good, Recycles the play, thought he'd got round, defender made the touch. There he goes, okay, you may have got me once, but you're not getting me a second time. Steps inside, bang, right foot whack, steps outside. Lovely touch, could walk it over in the end.
And no sooner had the US narrowed the gap to 4-3 than France score again to bring it back out to 2 and up to 5-3. US surge through, big wide pass, there is Gomez, and Gomez scores. Immediate response from the US, an important response. No, there's been an infringement.
Oh, forward pass. It's unlucky because USA had worked that really well, but just the forward pass, and they did look left for the first time, and unfortunately the right option just didn't result in what they wanted. Oh, and it's beautiful from France. France really turning the screw. It might have took them 35 minutes to turn on the flash, but we've got there in the end.
We have indeed. Erwin Levesque with the score. And France have just grabbed this game by the scruff of the neck.
Keep coming, number 3, keep coming.
2.5 minutes to go. And probably with that score, now the gap is out to 3. It's too big for the US to do much about.
Offside again. They're going to go back to the quickie play. Half's not there quick enough. Good ball. They look left. Ball goes early, but offside again. Second penalty. The third comes, someone goes for time.
Bit of a debate here amongst the referees. France will be very happy with how long this has taken. There's 30 seconds being burned off the clock just in the process of working out what's going on here. US, on the other hand, will be gutted to have lost that time.
A really good defensive touch from France. The USA going to have to do more than just quickie set to unlock this France defence.
Move it to the right. Now they go and look towards the left. Oh, it's a good pass, but as the touch comes in, the ball is spilled. And with a minute left, if France, in fact less than a minute left, the hooter goes. France accept the touch, and it's all over here. France take the victory. 6 scores to 3. It was tight and it was tetchy, but as the game wore on and on and on, France just found another gear to kick into in the final 5 minutes and made it, in the end, a comfortable 6-3 victory.
Yeah, superb from France. So we're just able to turn the screw in the final 5-10 minutes. Just, you know, really up the intensity, up the completion rate, with completing their sets much more consistently. And yeah, they just ultimately proved too good for the USA in the end. But, you know, I think the USA can be, you know, take a lot of positives from that. I think if you take Gomez stood on the far side wing, you'd be a little bit upset you didn't see more of the balls. You stood in space for vast majority of that game, and yeah, I think USA just couldn't quite get into their rhythm, and it really stopped any progress they could make an attack.
Well, all finishes up then as the players clap each other off the field, with the US taking the victory 6-3, sorry, France taking the victory. What am I talking about? France taking the victory 6-3 against the United States. Do stay with us, because at 1:05 we've got another cracker coming up. We're staying in the under-20s age group, but we move across to the women's competition, and it's England against South Africa. 1:05 for that one. Do stay with us.
Just a city boy, born and raised in South Detroit. Took the midnight train going anywhere.
No, sport mode. That's how much I care about the threes. You've got them in sport mode.
We need to make sure that we're working on staying tight.